Hey everyone, welcome back to Tyranny, the world of tyranny, so tears. Oh wait, no, Terratus rather. In any case, it's been a while since I actually played this game the last time because I played it in a large sitting one time and then I divided a bunch of episodes and released them pretty much two at a time, one at a time for a while. But, we should be caught up now, and, of course, I should say, at least if it happened already, I mean, by the time I release this episode, it probably will have happened, but I might release it just before it, just so I could actually say this and have it be relevant. But Happy New Year's! Happy 2017, and we're gonna start 2017 off in a very dark world where everyone hates us, because for perhaps the country that I live in, that would be not too unsimilar. In any case, with that said, I really forgot if I did this in the last video. I'm pretty sure I did it in the last video off camera, but I sold a bunch of stuff, so we have a bunch of iron rings. What I did not do in the last video, or before I made the last video, was this. Wait, where is it? Right, Spires. So I just recruited people basically at random. Not completely at random. I have some logic to this, like if I didn't have a staff trainer, which we have tons of staff trainers, so that's a bad example, but if I didn't have someone with control emotions, I recruited them. If I didn't have someone with, I don't know, subterfuge, I recruited them. Or maybe I didn't. I could have sworn I did. Because that thought went through my head. I guess I didn't really... Okay. I think I wanted subterfuge somewhere else, but we haven't gotten the training grounds yet. Before this video, I actually was going to look up whether or not the training grounds actually gave you the opportunity to respec. Because I like my current build. This is perfectly fine. This is the questionable part. I feel like I was expecting a lot more from it. It's not a terrible skill, to be perfectly honest, especially with the way I play. And I was thinking of use cases for it. For example, like if I had a weapon that actually has procs, or... I mean, weapon procs in this game seem to largely be attuned not to just randomly hitting, but like either killing the enemy, which is not useful at all, or like doing a critical strike. So I guess having that, what is it? Flurry of Blows? I think that's what it's called. Pretty sure that's what, yeah, Flurry of Blows. Having Flurry of Blows does give me another quick chance to get an additional crit, and then like if both things crit, then that person basically might as well be dead. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that point could be better spent elsewhere. What I do think I'll be doing is continuing to go down the power tree. I originally thought about the agility tree. I think I might actually stick with two-handed weapons, despite what I said before. But regardless of if I do stick to two-handed weapons or not, the power tree just has a lot of interesting things to me. Two-handed mastery for obvious reasons, but after that, you got like this massive blow, which moderately increases critical hit damage, and that's huge. I love critical hit damage. And that's cool. It's really cool to me. Everything else in this tree, two-handed mastery and massive blow. If I get all, is it 3 ranks of massive blow or just 2? I guess it's only 2, but that would be 5 points. 5, 7, so we would need 2 more for Skullcracker. If I get to 9, I might as well just get Skullcracker, because that's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. It has a 45-second cooldown. Sunder is 20 seconds, so it's basically double. No, it is double, and then some. But, yeah. This is a bit questionable. Rampage, 15% accuracy per kill. If this was like 15% damage per kill, that could be more interesting, although the bonus lasts until combat ends. But still, like, if I'm killing someone, I assume I don't need to kill the next person quicker through hitting them more, because I have other ways to increase accuracy, so maybe that's not the best thing that we do. Other things that are completely useless, like unarmed combat, which I don't plan on going to at all. But I'm glad that's there.
Fatebinder wants beast woman?
So, the last time we pretty much just spoke with companions. Let's continue to do that.
My Lord Binder, what can I do
We're
for
done
you?
with Barrack.
Well, if it isn't the savior of the tears, what are you gonna ask me to do now?
Siren purses her lips and exhales dismissively. Nothing,
What do you
apparently. Sorry to bother you.
That's twice now you've undone one of Kairos' edicts. If you're trying to invite the wrath of the Overlord, good job.
Yeah?
The Edict of Storms promised to be the death of the peninsula. I have no idea how the Unbroken lasted as long as they did. What with the blighted crops, obliterated roads, and the erratic flooding.
Nothing,
What is it you need?
apparently.
Ask away.
Oh, wait, I actually do have things to ask you. What do you know of Arcane Society?
I know a great deal of the mages of the Tears, or at least their history. Most are dead now. I know a little less about the guilds sworn to Kairos' archons, but I try to make an effort to
That's
know my
smart.
opposition.
Well, this is the most pertinent right now, so what do you know about the School of Ink and Quill? Behind the Tidecasters, the sages of the School of Ink and Quill, the oldest arcane institution in the Tiers, we go back a ways. There's a lot of bad blood. If I'm being objective, the sages claim to be scholars instead of collecting, archiving, and preserving lore from and for all humanity. They're quite keen to gather lore, but in no sense do they seek to share their knowledge with their Tiersmen. Many of our secrets have been pilfered by the sages' spies over the centuries, and we're not alone. The sages have many secrets at many other guilds. Their generation of theft have made them versatile and dangerous. That's interesting. What about the School of Tides? Our patron, occulted Jade Archon of Tides, is as old as the settlers of the Five Wives, and for nearly 5 centuries, we were the masters of the coast and the rivers. These days, it's the School of One. You're looking at it. She thumps her chest with a bemused smirk. What's this? Five Wives is the name for both the historic landfall of seafaring human settlers, rather, on the Tiers, as well as the name for the archipelago, where the first and now largely abandoned settlements were founded. In centuries past, the historic event known more properly as the Five Wives and the Seven Husbands, for as far the story goes, 7 ships made landfall, and after 2 seasons of difficult living, the 7 husbands got back on their boats to see what else was nearby, and all perished. Many suggest this was just a parable used to explain the gender roles of land ownership and the admiralty in the Tiers, but the nobility take the origin story quite seriously, and nearly every noble house in the Tiers is the family mythology, linking them back to these 5 fabled matriarchs. Interesting. So it's basically saying the 7 husbands are idiots. And that's why the 5 wives were superior? So, yes, we actually know all of this from dialogue. She vanished, taking the entire, vanished across the seas, taking nearly the entire School of Tides with her into exile across an uncharted waters. So she actually is still alive, as far as I'm aware. How did the school fall? The Archon Care issued a challenge, and Masters Fulvox, Hagravar, and Cambrel leapt at the chance. I told them it was a hopeless clash. I think they were ready to die. As the youngest Tidecaster still in the Tiers, I exercised the better part of valor and went into hiding. But then my sense of shame kicked in, and well, that's when I fell in with the Venturine Guard. Old as the 5 wives. By all accounts, occulted Jade was among the initial settlers that made landfall in the Tiers before Kara's first cast an edict. Though she's a bit old and stooped, she looked amazing for nearly 500. What was your school like before the war? There was a time when the Tidecasters were the most powerful guild of the Tiers. The Kingdom of Haven accepted us as a defender of sea trade, and noble houses gave us peace and quiet in exchange for teaching their sons and daughters magic, writing, and navigation. Though the other schools coveted our knowledge, they feared our wrath. Between our destructive magic and our Archon patron, not Patreon. God, that's something else. Others knew that attacking us meant suicide. Why didn't your Archon fight in the war? About a year or so after, I can't believe I said two. About a year or so before troops arrived in the Bastard Tier, occulted Jade proclaimed that the age of the Tiers was over, and said she departed southwest in the unknown, unending ocean rather than face Kairos. Most of my guildmates went along, choosing to risk the high seas rather than risk battle. Most of us, the militants, as our peaceful brethren dubbed us, chose to stand and fight. To my knowledge, I'm the last of those who decided to stand and fight. What do you know about the Blood Chanters? The Blood Chanters are the voice of Nerat's cabal of mages. Their magic is taken from the Sigil of Siren and from techniques stolen from the School of Wild Wrath, namely their magic of fire, as they learned from Thousand Embers' Archon of Fire. They barely qualify as a proper school or guild. Most of them are barely literate, and I bet most of them didn't even learn a damn thing. Just had their knowledge shoved in their heads by Nerat. They're all the brutal buffoonery of the chorus. But with magic to make their bloodlust contagious. Their only redeeming feature, guess they make the sages seem not half bad. Tell me about the Earthshakers. The Earthshakers are the discipline of Karn, the Archon of Stone, and they share their master's command of Tremor and Soil. They also share Karn's aloof, brooding temperament. From what I gather, the Earthshakers serve disfavored, but the relationship has been deeply strained by Karn's fall from grace. I can imagine there's the fear Karn shared with them, something subversive or treasonous. I wonder if we could exploit that. I never really thought about this because we were obviously on the disfavored side, but yeah, that would be kind of cool if I could actually help Karn or, the Earthshakers against the disfavored. What can you tell me about the Forgebound? The Forgebound have an unusual sort of magic. They specialize in slow, painstaking rituals that do not produce dazzling blasts of energy and shards of flying ice like my own magic. Instead, their spells render them immune to the fires of the forge and at one with their tools of the trade, which is weird because they still use them in battle. I admit, or maybe that one was just like someone that was there at the time. I admit a bit of fascination with the guild. I much prefer the power and brutality of my own magic, but if I lived in a calmer, wiser time, I think there could be great satisfaction in using magic to become the master of one's craft. Sure. What about the other several guilds? There have been several crop up and wither across the centuries. The Cutters Guild, okay, took their healing magic north centuries ago. The School of Flowering Winter always limped along as an inconsequential group of gardeners. Most of the other schools in the tiers fizzled out early, slain by suspicious neighbors or subverted and destroyed by one of the three big schools. Okay. I have a question about the people of the tiers.
We all know how to swim, and we all know how to fight. Most Northmen are lucky to make half that boast. What would you like to know?
What of the major resistors to Kairos' rule?
Aside from the ones you slew, well, the Vendrian Guard were the most staunch opponents of Kairos. With their passing, the Overlord's rule is absolute. Well, aside from the local Archons being in a state of civil war. Was there a particular group you wish to discuss?
Tell me about the Bronze Brotherhood.
The Bronze Brotherhood is one of the most feared and famous of the Free City mercenary companies. They serve the highest bidder, and during the war, that was Kairos.
Yeah, they sucked then.
Most of the Brotherhood perished in the war, but a handful, the crew hired to work at Lethian's Crossing. They got to babysit the Forgebound and survived the last few years with minor losses. The band is too small to be a serious threat to the disfavored or the chorus, but they are scourge-worshipping berserks that will adopt any enemy for the right price. Maybe even Kairos.
Tell me about the Unbroken.
The Unbroken is the name of the military of the now fallen realm of Stalwart. Every citizen of Stalwart was trained to fight, and all were expected to answer the rallying cry of the regents, the ruling small council of the realm.
Because we definitely know about the Unbroken at this point.
A decade ago, Stalwart was the ass end of jokes tiersmen would tell each other. The people of Stalwart are obnoxiously proud of a long history of being invaded, but never losing. The disfavored put an end to their vaunted record of victory.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The Unbroken still persist, albeit marginally so. The disfavored withdrew after the Edict of Storms began shredding the landscape. Their holdfast of Sentinel Stand Keep was never taken, and the citizen army, though scattered, could still be rallied.
Yeah. Tell me about the Stonestalker tribe. I don't know why you would know about them, but okay.
Kairos' war was disastrous to the human realm of Azure, but a stroke of good luck for the numerous beastmen that toiled in Azure's endless wheat fields. With the masters all dead, the serfs
I didn't know about this at all. Okay.
The Stonestalkers are a tribe born from these newly freed beasts. I imagine they would never bow to Kairos or the Archons. Too many generations have been enslaved. I'd wager anything they'll die before they ever bow. Beastmen understand strength and leadership, but it's always in the concrete sense. I can't pretend to know how they think, but I could never imagine them accepting an absent Prima. A distant ruler they can't see or smell seems a bit too abstract.
Are there remnants of the younger realms that could still rise against Kairos?
Several sages came to our aid during the Second Battle of Vendrian's Well. I at first thought they meant to kill me, but instead they put their lives on the line for us. They spoke of others in their guild braving the Edict of Fire to salvage lore from the burning library. Though I may find them untrustworthy, it must be said that the sages have a certain fearlessness toward the Overlord. Perhaps that could be kindled further.
Okay.
Historically speaking, an alliance with the School of Ink and Quill is just asking to have your efforts stolen and your goals undermined. Mark my words, some things never change.
Well, you know, your concern is noted, but irrelevant. If the sages will obey me, I will work with them.
Whatever.
Whatever.
If you want to ignore my advice, that's fine. I'm taking over the Spire when you die, so keep up that naivete for me.
Good luck with that. I'm curious about the people of the Tears. I think you'll find each of us thinks themselves a child of Haven, as in my case, or a child of Azure, a child of Apex, or what have you. But I suppose we Tearsmen have our shared customs. The most treasured of those customs used to be the pride of being free of Kairos' rule. Did you have any particular questions? Why don't men own lands or women ships? For centuries, it has been our way that the men own the ships, but the women own the harbors. Our customs didn't truly prevent ownership. They limit inheritance. Lands pass to daughters, then to sisters, then to mothers, then aunts. Ships pass to sons, then brothers, and fathers, and uncles. It seems strange to outsiders, but it makes sense to me. Men are blessed with the wanderlust, women with a sense of the permanent rather. Likewise, the captain of a ship can't pause to carry a child, and the men grow restless if left in peace. In truth, the custom varies from place to place, as you'll find men with enough wealth to own land, and women with enough sway to own ships. As is often the case, the nobles pick and choose their traditions. Tearsmen live with greater numbers of beastmen. What's that like? The beastmen of the Tears are hardier and smarter than their kin elsewhere, and fortunately we have lived together in relative harmony for some time. Make no mistake, life is difficult for most beastmen of the Tears, but compared to, say, how they are being treated in the Northern Empire, I would like to think we Tearsmen are a bit more modern and forward-thinking, even if just a bit. But I suppose I take an overly optimistic view of our beastly cousins. I find their clumsy honesty endearing, and while no human will say nice things about my cooking, no beastman has ever said anything mean about my worst dishes. When were the Tears settled? Human settlers arrived over 400 years ago, displaced from war between what are now Kairos' realms of Trivern and Fertile Sands, a flotilla of barely seaworthy rigs headed north across the high seas. The Tearsmen will sometimes speak of the Five Wives. We use it to both refer to the first 5 settlements that where colonists first made landfall, as well as the 5 matriarchs that went on to form the ruling dynasties of the Tears. So that would be Apex, Haven, Stalwart, Lethian's Crossing? And something else, I don't know. Azure, maybe? I don't know. Of course, I'm leaving out the matter of the builders of the old walls. Who knows when they lived here and why they're gone, but those old walls didn't just fall out of the sky. Why did the Younger Realms stand against Kairos? Are you trying to rub it in? Yes, the Younger Realms were defeated one at a time by the invaders. Maybe if I was the Queen of the Tears, that wouldn't have happened. Oof. Well then, what would Queen Ebb have done? I would have taken the threat seriously the moment troops were stopped marching to the gates of judgment. Okay. Am I the only person whose mother mentioned that Kairos was a real threat? Opportunity. That's what killed us. Haven wanted to watch the bastard tier fall first. Apex was hoping Haven would fall. Azure wanted Stalwart to be attacked first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, got it. Every realm of the tiers had some interest in watching their neighbors fall first, and yeah. So we all held back our support until a year or so into the war. Too fucking late by then, squabbling idiots. What can you tell me about the different nations of the tiers? Before Kairos came, the tiers were the Younger Realms, the Bastard tier, and the Free Cities. In that order of provenance, we all trace our roots back to the Five Wives, though sometimes a bit of ancestral shorelines seems all we have in common. What can you tell me about the Free Cities? There's little free about the Free Cities save for their independence from the Younger Realms. They're not physically adjacent, but rather politically aligned by their shared hatred of the other realms. Wow. Most of all, the Free Cities were defeated with little effort by Kairos' forces. Way I heard it, Nerat just had to have agents hire up their mercenaries and order them to simply be elsewhere when the armies of the Overlord arrived. Before Kairos came, the tiers were the Younger Realms. Okay, tell me about the Younger Realms. Haven, Azure, Apex, and Stalwart have been the four major... This is the Younger Realms? So that means the Bastard tier. Okay, got it. Haven, Azure... Wait, no, Apex was... Never mind. Haven, Azure, Apex, and Stalwart have been the four major forces of the tiers for the past 4 centuries. A few of the other dynasties have tried their hand, but all eventually were defeated or absorbed in the 4 we know today. Not sure when the term younger came into fashion, but it was always the term for humble contrast. Just look at the old walls. Someone was here before us and built them. Don't know really anything about them, but it stands to reason there used to be older realms that did all the construction. Tell me about the Bastard tier. It was the northernmost of the tiers and the choke point to the... Okay, so it is separate from the Free Cities. Never mind. And the choke point to the Northern Empire. It's been a hub of trade for centuries, and a long line of merchant families and private armies have kept the realm largely lawless. Though many used to joke about the Bastard tiers being sacked by rabid dogs, Tunan's capture of the city was a terrible blow to the morale of the tiersmen. We knew that day Kairos was more than just a fun story to scare your kids. Before Kairos came, okay.
Ask away.
What can you tell me about the Archons?
Not entirely sure. Which is to say, there was a time I studied my enemy in great detail, but I've recently come to learn that much of my information was little more than lies.
What do you know
and
of Siren? She's standing right there. Why not ask the expert? I wonder if that would have been more elaborate if I asked her this before we actually recruited Siren. What do you know about Karen? Enough? In that case, I won't question further. Thank you. We've better things to do than pick at scabs. What do you know about Graven Ash that I don't? Before the conquest, I assumed Graven Ash a harmless old man, an Archon in name only past his prime. I could not have been more wrong. Many have underestimated their great general by his age. Few of them have made the mistake twice. Ash is a remarkable general. He's led his tiny band of disfavored on a nearly unstoppable rampage of the tiers, and he does not seem to win his wars with obvious displays of mystic powers, but with old-fashioned leadership and good soldiers. A year or so back, under a blue flag talk with the commander with the disfavored? I was told that the Archon knows the name of every soldier under his command, living and dead. That's actually sad. The way this favored speak of Ash, you'd think he raised each of them from the cradle. Man, he must hate us now, then. The Archon of Secrets lives up to his name. If he weren't so loathsome a beast, I'd half admire his masteries of the magical arts. They say he knows that all the sigils lost to history, but I've also heard it said that all the stolen knowledge is why he speaks in his different voices. But in truth, I'm learning that most what I know is just lies and misdirection. Though I guess he'd be a poor Archon of Secrets if I had my facts straight. Let's change the subject.
Ask away.
What about our companions? What do you think about Barrick?
My one concern with Barrick is that he's still loyal to Graven Ash
Yeah,
and
valid.
not to you. Barrick seems steadfast, faithful, and dependable. But if it comes down to you versus Graven Ash, therein lies the test.
Ah. I just realized the severity of that point. 'Cause we're probably gonna have to face down Graven Ash. And if Barrick is in the party during that, that could be really bad. Not just from we lose a party member, but from a logical standpoint as well, because we effectively lose our tank. Huh, that's interesting. If it weren't a tactical asset, it'd be fun to try to pry him out of that suit. Curious to see if his midsection is strong, firm, and taut as I've imagined it should be. She nods. Okay. What's your thoughts on verse?
We should consider ourselves fortunate that one of the most deadly members of the Scarlet Furies considers you a suitable gang leader. That said, if I were
I'm
you,
gonna
I'd
skip
keep it
this
close.
because verse actually isn't here, so that's pretty funny. What's your take on Lantry?
Probably the only word thief I haven't wanted to dismember. Him, I'd merely flay with an ice knife.
The Wandering Scholar thing seems an act. It's always an act with the sages, always pretending to know less than they really do. I'm sure he's got 1,000 reasons for why he's not like them or more trustworthy than the rest, but I know his type, and so I don't trust him. What do you make of Siren?
We've all heard legends of child archons, but Siren is the real thing. She's so very jaded for her age. But I'd be a sour ninny shitter too if I had a contraption stuck on my head limiting my greatness. I'll tell you this much. Her hatred of the voices of Narad is either genuine or a most fantastic act. But being a giant liar, I know another liar when I see one. And I'd wager this gripe is
Good.
sincere.
I'm well aware that she may have already said something to me to make me more comfortable with her presence. And if she did, how would I know that she is influencing me or not? If she's playing me, I applaud for how well she is doing it. What do you think about Kilson Shadow?
So long as she doesn't perceive you weak enough to challenge, Kilson Shadow should prove a fearsome,
Well,
loyal retainer.
Okay. I find it strange in humans. Kairos' invasion spawned despair, surrender, rage, but the beastmen seem almost indifferent to Kairos and unshaken by the constant state of war the Tears have seen.
And Kilson Shadow adopts this optimism more than any. Seems she has no room to be sad about what the Overlord has destroyed. She seems to care only about what can be carved out of what remains. I'll try to find inspiration in that.
Good luck with that.
Ask away.
Let's return to
What
our
is it you need?
travels. Oh, awesome. Really? Really? I did not think you disliked us that much or feared us that much. Wow. Oh, hell. We lost. Oh, man. Come on. You need to change a very major strength to unlock this tier. Okay, well, we lost that crazy starlight beam thing that she had, but instead we got this Heart of the Storm, once per rest, so these are both once per rest abilities. Imbues the that's freaking awesome. Imbues our weapon with the ability to channel lightning through it. While the effect remains, the Fate Binder's attacks will evoke a powerful electrical explosion. Heck yeah! Are you kidding? I think we're gonna have this for literally like maybe an hour at the most, because for the most part, Ebb seriously disagrees with us. It agrees with us, I meant. So I feel like I should use this a lot while we have it. And I'm taking Ebb along, so yeah. I wonder, I want to take Ash again. I mean, not Ash. That'd be really cool if Ash was a companion, but I want to take Barrack against Ash when you know, the time actually comes. Just because I feel like that would be honest for him, and we get to see where he truly lies at. Okay, I think we're done there. So, with that said, where are we currently at? Sunset Spire. Let's go to the Mountain Spire, because we could just teleport there instantaneously, apparently, because I didn't see any time pass. I want more spell sigils. I was looking at a trailer for this game, ironically, and I've seen some really gnarly spell effects that we haven't seen yet. Twisting Flame is awesome, but there's some things that look even more awesome than Twisting Flame. So, wow. And I assume it's a fire spell because it looks like a fire spell. It might not be. It could be earth as well, because sometimes earth mixes in with fire, because that's a good way to justify, like, magma.
Fate
Actually, no, I
Binder.
don't. What was I doing here exactly? Let's just talk to everybody. I don't want any of this. Right, I remember this now. It's all coming back to me. We have so much freaking gold that, like... Well, I'm not going to train anyone right there. Lone Fang, you're new. How did he get... okay. How did he get hunts lately, human? Totally not the right voice, but I don't care. Do you have anything for me? Yes, yes, we'll show, human. You have a freaking exquisite quality great bow? Where did you get this from? Who the hell are you, first of all? Lone Fang provides food to take into battle. This is the... Do you eat bows and camping supplies? Wow, that was interesting. Okay, Corpse Eye, hi. How nice to see you again. Why did I come and see you again? I don't know. So I'm leaving. Let us war with each other in spirit of instruction. Oh, you're part of the Bronze Brotherhood. I don't know why you're here, but okay. Wield your warrior and wield your weapon and do not relent. If you are disarmed, you keep fighting or you die. Thus is the way of the warrior. Go away. I don't know why you're here. I kind of really wish this showed you, like, you could probably guess by their name, or it'll just tell you their race, but I kind of wish it showed you their alignment, but, like, you definitely can guess by their name. For example, like, Bleak Anthem, this is a Scarlet Chorus. Sage, this is a Sage. Nereus, probably this is either Bronze Brotherhood or maybe Bastard Tears. Potentially, although I highly doubt it, Disfavored. Gila, probably Sage. A lot of them are probably Sages. Or, wait. Gila could probably be an Earthshaker. Fila, that was a bit more questionable. Because I thought Fila actually would be like an Earthshaker, or just a general magic user. Or was she a Sage? I forget. For some reason, no, Puppet was the Scarlet Chorusman there, or rather the Blood Chanter. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. You have something for me? What do you have? Kendrick. Are there just multiple people that generate items and you can just take literally all the items that one person generated from a different person? Is that what that is? I don't know. That would stand to reason more than what just happened because I just recruited Lone Fang. Anyways, that's enough of that, I'd say. Let's go to yet another spire. Isn't that great? Man, magic teleportation, really useful in games. Too bad it's not that, like, it's not that way in real life. Was I just here? No, this is, okay, I was not just here. You made some progress. What did you make? Hierarch's robes. Ooh. Why do you make robes at a forge? Whatever. I guess that's because there is no, like, tailoring area or plates that you could really make. I guess the closest place a tailor would probably be at would be the infirmary or library. Anyways, because those are the most castery in my opinion. In any case, let's go. Current rank. Okay, all this is useless. Irina, who are you again? Right, we have enough money to start buying this nonsense. Ooh, focused rain. The thing about this, I'm always like, okay, well, a few times we just got like an accent or sigil or something as a reward, but then, I mean, that was lame when Bleeding Mark gave us the exact same thing that we had on weapon crit explosive. I really want a melee weapon that does this. That'd be so cool. Cinder is now used by the Scarlet Chorus, formerly used by Wild Wrath. Yeah. Increases accuracy, don't care. Increases the area of effect. Could be kind of cool. Armor penetration could be kind of cool. I feel like I should just buy all these, honestly. How much is this if I buy... Oh, shoot. No, don't get rid of that. Get rid of that. If I buy everything, I could just do the math, but, you know, we have enough. That's only half of our goal. You know what? Let's do it. Noxia, who are you? Glory to the voice of Nerat. Quite the impressive tower you have here, Fate Minder. It would be a shame if someone pushed you off the edge. The Blood Chanter grips you by your shoulders and tries to wrestle you to the edge. Really? I'm just gonna punch her. Her head snaps back as she takes the strike. Dazed, she shakes her head to recover and licks some of the blood dribbling from her nose. Ow! I wish I could have said I made worse decisions, but this was a bad one. Bad Noxia! She pinches her arm and squeezes her eyes shut, enduring and relishes the pain in equal measure. You looking to spar, Fatebinder? What? How about I... Oh my god, whatever. That was... Haha. This would make a lot more sense if I actually was aligned to them, but like... Attacking me and you're formerly part of the Scarlet Chorus, I'd probably just kill you. Especially if you do it basically in what is my home. Or at least do a lot worse than that. Yeah, we'll train Ebb and Fire. That'd be hilarious. Ebb and Fire. Lore seems to be basically important. Just because it controls people's spell assortment. My spire is yours, Fatebinder. Oh, perhaps I have it backwards. Something about this place just makes me want to possess it. What can I do for you? You're weird. That's an earth shaker, okay. Hello, puppet. You're actually okay. I don't mind you so much. I wish your friend over there could be the same, and then maybe I wouldn't want to kill her. You haven't made anything for me, then let's get out of here. Forget this. So I probably will be cutting this episode into its own episode. Is there anyone else that I did not speak to yet? We spoke with Lantry, correct? Yeah, I know we did. I remember this, actually. Also, where is Lantry? Where is Lantry? Is this Lantry?
At least in theory, I'm supposed to be observing history and not getting myself wrapped into it. All the same, this is the thrill of a lifetime. Rarely does one stand so close to monumental moments in the making. You've made a lot of enemies during the Battle of Vendrian's Well. If the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus stop fighting each other, one or both might get the notion to crush you underfoot. There is hardly any opposition to Kairos left in the Tiers. Yet this civil war forestalls any formal close to this conquest. I can't imagine the Overlord is amused by these.
Oh, yeah. I know. The Archons can have their little squabble. With any luck, they'll destroy each other and do us all a favor.
Perhaps, for the good of the Tiers and the whole of Taratus, someone should help make sure neither Archon survives. While they're focused on each other, you could instigate all manner of chaos and bloodshed.
Whose side are you on, exactly? I mean, obviously mine, but, like, I don't know. I thought he was loyal to Kairos, rather.
Whatever you do next, consider that many eyes will be upon you. For you have both delivered and taken away the Overlord's edicts, and few will know how to make sense of the latter. You are an exception the Archons cannot afford to ignore. They will likely aim to control or destroy you.
Noted. Now let's get going.
One moment, my friend. Just let
Ending
me
his
finish
note with a
this thought.
flourish, Lantry lips the tip of his quill, pausing to taste this second and a third time before tucking the pen to a holster into his sleeve. So what's on your mind? Did you want to discuss matters of the present, or would you prefer a more scholarly rant? Nope, not really. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So, great. Yeah, we're pretty much set, come to think of it. Awesome. So I will be taking a short break here, although I'll be uploading an actual episode where we are not just recuperating with our friends here. And yeah, I guess we'll see what the Burning Library holds for us. Should be interesting. But yeah, tune into the next episode to find out. It'll be up very shortly, don't worry, if not up already. But thanks for watching, and we learned a lot. So yeah, let's learn more. See you guys later. Have a good day.